So I've been traveling to warmer cities in Canada looking for the perfect location to live in. I've been travel vlogging the whole setup. I've taken 2 separate trips. First trip I took Nikon Z6 III with the 26mm 2.8. Second trip I decided Canon R5 II 28mm 2.8. So today we just talk about the comparisons while we test a couple things and show you the footage.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So right now we're on the Nicky Boy, and if you extend it on out there with a tripod, you're somewhat wide enough. 2.8 is not what I would do. I've been doing Tony 8, and it looks fantastic on the Canon. So like I'm going to a town, showing you the town, and then I know my hood's blocking 90% of it, but we learned something about where to live. So I just want to talk about the difference between Canon and Nikon, the strengths and cons that I've noticed while comparing Canon to Nikon. I did that opposite, and by the end I will also have answered this jabron who was wondering which Nikon lens to buy, the 26 or the 28. Is the 26 really worth? We got a lot to get to. So here's the deal. The biggest flaw of Nikon so far has been the stabilization. It's just bad. No matter what, they're the only company that has 2 different modes and neither are good for anything. There's normal and sport, and it's like, God, why would you invent a mode where if I stand here, it's too shaky in sport mode, but if I move, it's unusable in normal mode. We move, we stand, we're not turtles, and the 4 comparisons that we're doing today is Nikon versus Canon regular stab, and then digital for both. Let that sink in. So, the first trip we took, Leamington, here's the things I noticed that were good and bad. Nikon, beautiful cinematic image. You can't beat it. It's better than the Canon, unless you use the Fuji LUTs. I don't mind that. So Nikon has like the most cinematic image ever, just beautiful with the red LUTs. It's like no matter what you film, you're like, damn man, that's a movie. But a lot of it was shaky. The autofocus was good. Really, the only problem is your stab is class trailing, in my opinion, like worse than anybody. I swear, I thought that Nikon was like up there. People were saying back in the day, it's like, oh, it's almost Panasonic level. It's not even close to Fuji level. It's below Sony. At least Sony has some active stab, not too much of a crap. Come on. So for these moments where you're walking downtown, you're exploring somewhere, not good. If you're on a bus or a vehicle and you're just filming out the window, it's pretty bad. Like everything about it was just like, damn, this is terrible, almost unusable. So since you suck so much, we're gonna have to switch to a more polished unit. So we're on Canon now. And so what I noticed this trip was, yeah, the stabilization's a lot better, but there's also some problems with it. There's actually some warpy stuff even at 28. I remember on Panasonic, if you had an ultra wide, it was like super warpy. But if you went to like a 24mm, that all went away and it was just smooth and perfect. Eventually, they perfected it, whereas even the ultra-wides were no more warps. Whereas Canon, like, you're back in the Stone Ages. That's one thing Panasonic did. They focused on this type of bullshit because people like me complained about it. I was like, I can't even vlog over here. And so, like, they fixed it. Now, we witnessed that Canon, I don't know, man. So, like, there were many moments where it was just like, that stab is not great, I'm seeing wobbles, but it was way better than Nikon, that's for sure. And I didn't use digital stab on the whole trip, which I probably should have. Looking back, I'd be like, yeah, because that really smooths out the kinks. By the way, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but my plan is to convert both of these to Fuji LUTs with color space transform, do it all perfect, so we're not seeing Nikon versus Canon differences. So stabilization, I give a huge edge to Canon, and the digital is only a 10% crop, whereas Nikon's like 35%. So like you started with a wider lens, but as we'll see soon, we're going to end up with a bit of a crop. In fact, let's just do that now. So now we're in the 10% digital crop, and like all the kinks seem to be smoothed out. And I bet you if you're just filming things from your car and you're looking at your cornfields, you'd be like, that's still pretty smooth. So big edge to Canon. So Nikon looks more cinematic, but Canon's more stable. When it comes to autofocus, that's some things. Like, Canon's so much better, but with this lens, it's not the best. It hunted the odd time. There was a couple times where I was like filming something, then I pan out to the beach, and I was like, you're not gonna do it, huh, Canon? Like, it would not do it. I took like 4 takes, and it just never got it. So at the end, I just had to include that part of the failure in the show as a joke. It was like bullshit. So, I don't know, man. They're both so good. They both have everything you would need. Nikon has an edge in the sense that you could crop in with the 4K 120, whereas Canon, you're shit. And just a little side rant, I'm not giving companies permission to slack on their slow-mo, but I didn't use any slow-mo the whole trip for some reason. It's just like, I'm not going to film the people in the small town. It's not going to happen. And I'm like, oh, I guess I don't really need the HD 480 frames per second, but I still need it, so still put it in there. But I could totally see a world where just cropped 4K 60 is amazing. So the Sony A7C II is the perfect camera. And and by the way, digital stability needs higher shutter speeds to be good. And I realized being at Tony 8, that's not going to help us. So now we're wide open. We're seeing that Canon's pretty polished. We're all in Fuji colors, so none of that matters. Is it worth going to Nikon? Let's see how much bigger the crop is with their digital stability. It seems okay. It's not terrible. You can still see some out of that corner. And then what? We're smooth now? So like Nikon's worked out all the kinks. 26mm is wide enough? Oh, maybe. So like, I don't know, they both had their strengths. They were both almost the same exact camera you're obviously owned just by Mitsubishi. They're both Mitsubishi Z6 III, Mitsubishi R5 II. We know that. There's the same lenses. Oh, we both have a 28mm 2.8 somehow. Oh, how did we... I'm on to you. You're the same guy in an attic. When it comes to low light performance, I didn't do an exact comparison, but Nikon 51,000 ISO was quite noisy in RAW. It was like pretty bad. You could noise reduce it, but it looked okay. It's still sharp and cool looking. It's like, okay, yeah, things have got a little grainy here. Whereas Canon, I didn't do that. I didn't need it because I wasn't in a pitch black. I just let the ISO ride, and it just always looked good. Even at nighttime, I was like, that looks fantastic. Like, I tested this against the A7S III and it looked cleaner, but my test was bullshit because I was like 51.2 on the Canon versus 1.8 on the Sony, and the ISO was also higher on the Canon. I suck at comparison sometimes. That's on me. Back to Tony 8 now on the Nikon to see if there's any wiggle jitters. That's a problem because you want to stop it down so you can see things beyond your hood. And sometimes you need that Tony 8. But if the digital stability now sucks, then you need something with just good IBIS, and Canon's better. So if I was to take a third trip, which would I choose? Knowing how they perform, they're about the same weight. Oh God, that's a tough one. I think I preferred the Canon, if I'm being honest with you. It was just so much more stable. The autofocus wasn't even like, probably worse, if anything. But the Nikon look. But we can both just turn to Fuji anyway. So, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. The whole trip was just in classic neg LUT. Not even properly converted with the color space transform. Just slapped on to C-Log 2. It worked fine for me. Why didn't you tell me my lav mic wasn't plugged in? My whole show is ruined. Some friend you are. God, it was still plugged into the R5. Why do I suck at this? So, like, they're both really good. Now, when it comes to 26mm lens versus the 28, there's almost no reason to get the 26. It's slightly wider, and that's why I got it, and it's slightly lighter. That's the only reason. It's not like a better lens. You're not getting a better look. So, like, if you don't care about those two things, why bother? It's way more expensive, too. It's just... it was slightly lighter, and I'm going for the ultimate lightest system possible. With the ZR and this lens, it's like, forget about it. Yeah, it works. So, like, I chose that. I don't know, like the 28 was fine, but then it's a bit tighter. It's already pretty tight with digital stave. You were asking for vlogging, obviously. So it's like, someone's smoking here. How do I kick them? Which direction should my kicks go? I was about to start my clip. Damn truck's backing up. Who invented that beep? Just let your child be run over already. Deal with it afterwards. I have to deal with that noise? It's bullshit. Whoa, he has a broken arm now. They heal in like 3 weeks. Maximum 30 kilometers, my ass. That guy hopping speed bumps like it was a racetrack over here. So it was funny, the trips, they were different than I thought. Like I was in a lot of low light scenarios that I usually never plan on. It's like, okay, we're going out at night and there's all these Christmas lights and it's different. So like, you can never plan anything. The DJI Pocket 3 would have failed me both trips miserably. I'm glad I brought both. So who won the mini battle today? We both started with no digital stave whatsoever. 28 versus 26 on the Nikon. They were both pretty good. Fuji color for both. Wow. And now we're both in digital. That could be fine. Nikon, is it a bit more cropped? 26 mil. Where's my 10% mode? Mister, I like to divide everything into 2 options. Sport versus IBIS. You're stupid. Welcome to the Valley of the Ton. Tonne is welcome here. So honestly, I don't really declare a winner. I think they were both great. I would use both at any time. It's just like your flavor. Which flavor of color do you like? How tolerable are you to shaky footage? You'll be in focus, most likely, for most of your trip. So, affiliate links, huh? They're down there. Thank you for the Bitcoin donations. Let me know who won the battle today. Which system would you have used? No one cares. I'll delete your comment. Subscribe for my